yeah, go ahead, guys. We'll do a little bit of interaction with this. So pick a team that you want to be ranked first. Then you guys can say where you think they would be, and then I'll reveal where I actually have them. So what one are we going to do first? First person said FCB. Okay, so FC Barcelona is going to go first. That was the first one that I saw in chat. FC Barcelona this season are still running Devo and Ronicky, same as last season, but they have benched Bluey, or rather they've, I think, removed him from the roster because he's now on triple trouble, and they've got Flakes instead. Flakes just got relegated with Complexity disbanded. Now he's back in RLCS on Barcelona. So yeah, I can see a lot of you are already ranking them. We've got pretty much anything all the way from A to C, a lot of the A's in fact, B, C, B, D. Yeah, just keep on pouring them in. Lots of B's actually. Now, I think something that yeah, I think it was it Rizzo that said this, that most RLCS roster changes happen not because of in-game stuff, it's mostly out-of-game stuff. I really do wonder, and I don't actually know if this was at all the reason, but I really do wonder if the Barcelona roster changes were to do with in-game stuff or out-of-game stuff, because Bluey actually last season, I think he in-game did really well, but maybe he wasn't blending very well in the long run with Devo and Ronicky. They decided to go with Flakes instead. But I'm pretty optimistic about this roster change. I think that it's a more well-rounded roster with Flakes on the team. I think Flakes is one of the, best when he got relegated, he then became, I think, one of the best non-RLCS players. So huge pickup for Barcelona, and I think it's good enough to put them into the A tier for me. I expect them to make top 6. I do. I think this season they should make top 6. They barely missed it last. No, actually, they did get top 6 last season. I think, didn't they? I'm gonna quickly check. Yeah, they did. They got top 6, but then they lost. They got reverse swept by Dignitas in the first round of playoffs for LAN. So a bit of a disaster there. But yeah, I think they're probably going to repeat that, get top 6 again, even though overall the quality of the league has probably increased. And top 6 this season is actually better than top 6 was last season, because top 6 last season you only have to finish in the top 75% of the league, whereas top 6 this season you have to finish in the top 60% of the league. So it's actually, saying that you're going to make top 6 this season is a bigger deal than getting top 6 last season. And every season before that, because this is the first season where RLCS has had 10 teams each. Trigger Happy Panda, thanks for the 2-month prime, really appreciate you, man. Welcome back. Next team, guys. Next team, well, Brian just continues to do that. Dig next. Okay, fine, we'll do Dig next. So Dignitas, the angry owl, scary bat logo thing. Where do you guys have Dignitas in the tier list? Where are you guys going to put them? Just S. Everybody's saying. Everybody's saying S and S+. Dignitas in league play last season. Oh, I forgot to change this to Team Dignitas. There we go. It is, of course, the same team. Panda, Yukio, Azrael. During league play, they didn't have the best of times. They were exactly bang in the middle of the league, 4th, 5th. Lost 4th to Mouse on a tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they did. They got 3-0 by Mouse, so they lost. They were 5th place in league play. Then, of course, they did scrape through to LAN as the 4th seed. So, not the best league play showing, but they really, I think, pulled it together at LAN, and I really do wonder if that kind of form is going to continue coming back over into league play. Personally, if this was a LAN, I would have Dignitas S+, because their LAN performance at RLCS was that impressive. I thought they were fantastic. Yeah, they were definitely an S+ material. But just because league play for them was more unconvincing last season, and they have had less consistency recently. I think that was a peak. Obviously, RLCS was a huge high for them. I'm gonna put them in S because league play didn't look great for them last season. They had to reverse sweep Barcelona to make LAN. And yeah, if they, I think that, you know, this is an improvement on last season. But I'll be amazed and I'll be super impressed if they can transfer what they did at LAN, RLCS, into league play. That would be incredible, because then they're going to be an obvious S+, because that team at LAN was unreal. Right, next, let's have another one. I think I pretty much agreed with you guys. Maybe I had Barcelona on the high end of Twitch stats votes, but yeah, Dignitas I had pretty much bang on. Right, somebody said reciprocity.
Too long since
so
I caught a stream
go ahead with reciprocity, guys. So what do you think about this? Hey, Chocolate, thanks to the tier 3 17 months in a row. Really appreciate it, man. That's 13 tier 3 subs. What on earth? That's outrageous. Most people, I think, saying S for reciprocity as well. Lots of A's, actually. Okay, interesting. Now, don't forget, reciprocity, keeping the same roster going into this season. Farah, Shawset, Fruity. They do have, however, Jesse as substitute. So I'll be extremely excited, of course, if that gets utilized at all. But yeah, reciprocity. They had a really good season. They were looking like the team to beat in Europe in the run-up to RLCS Season 8. Then at RLCS Season 8 itself, they had another disappointing RLCS, as they often do. However, talking league play, I think that they are still very close to the top, and I've got them right next to Dig in S. That's where I've decided to put them. Just hard to put them S+ after such a disappointing RLCS LAN. It's hard to do. It's hard to put them up there any higher than S, just because they were disappointed again at RLCS LAN. Right, next. Okay, somebody said Veloce. I've seen this quite a few times. Let's go for Veloce. Right, guys. Veloce. This is Freaky Flame Casio, another roster that hasn't made a change. So we had Dignitas, Reciprocity, and Veloce have all kept the same rosters. So we've got B, D, C, lots of Bs, C, A's even. Interesting. I will tell you one thing. Veloce, for me, were the hardest returning RLCS team to rank, because I don't know what to make of this team. I really don't. Their league play last season obviously ended up being a huge success. They qualified directly to RLCS Season 8 LAN by finishing second in the league.
Love the content, Johnny.
Which is insane. Going in, nobody expected that would happen. A lot of those wins that helped them get into the LAN directly were Game 5s, where they just scraped it by the skin of their teeth, but they did get it. They did get the wins necessary, and they made LAN. Now, at the LAN, at RLCS in Madrid, Veloce were, I think, largely disappointing. I was not impressed with what I saw from them. Not a lot of creativity, not a lot of offensive pressure, just kind of waiting for other teams to mess up and then scoring goals, or in other cases, waiting for other teams to own goal for them so that they could just win off own goal. But yeah, I don't know if that playstyle is going to continue to work. I think last season it caught a lot of teams off guard, and a lot of teams underestimated them. And when you're going up against a team like freshly promoted Veloce, everybody thinks they're going to come last. They didn't even get promoted through a promotion tournament. They got in because of a technicality. And everybody's underestimating them, and then suddenly they show up and they barely win a bunch of Game 5s. I don't think that's going to happen again. Just because they don't have... They've earned the respect, basically. Nobody's going to underestimate them anymore. So I can't put them that high. Now, whereas I think, Dignitas and Reciprocity are two of the stronger teams in Europe, and I like the Barcelona roster change. We've got a returning same roster from Veloce, and I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with what I saw at RLCS. I really wasn't, and I can't put them any higher than a C, because some of the other teams that I'm going to be ranking around them are just, I think, more impressive, and I think that they're going to be more threatening this season. I'll be surprised if Veloce ever repeats season. I will. But like I said before, they were the hardest team to rank in the returning RLCS teams, because I just don't know. I really don't know. I didn't expect them to do well last season. They did. I don't expect them to do well this season. Who knows? Maybe they will. Who knows? Freaky does have a lot of experience. And yeah, Flame and Cassio are certainly capable, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Definitely not an inspiring playstyle to watch. Puts me to sleep, so I don't feel bad ranking them low. I'm sorry, Veloce, but I want more interesting gameplay. I can't promote this defensive playstyle. I just can't. Rubber Ducky Man, thanks to the 20-month Prime, by the way. Guys, who do you want next? Elephant TG, thanks to the 42-month Tier 1. That is outrageous. And Cloudy1, thanks to the 2-month Prime. Appreciate you, man. TSM, okay. Okay, we could do TSM next. There's TSM. New roster. Alpha 54 has left the team. And to replace them, or to replace Alpha rather, they've brought in Magnus. So the Metsadorus Magnus duo has been reunited. They're back together again. Very famous Rocket League duo. Thank you as well, by the way, to JTinseth72 for the brand new Prime sub. I really appreciate you. He's purposely not doing mouse. I'm not. I'm just like, I just look at the chat and then see. Okay. So you guys are really spread out on this one. We've got a lot of A's, B's, D's, C's, everything. But yeah, it's with a heavy heart that I have to put TSM in D. I hate doing this, but I just don't see them doing well this season. If they still had Alpha in the roster, I would probably put them B, something like this. But they don't have Alpha in the roster. They've lost their best player, and Magnus is not what he used to be. And you know, he's still a very good player. I think I still rate Magnus, but he's no Alpha 54 right now, in my opinion. And you know, statistically, visually, on the field, he just isn't able to do what Alpha 54 can currently do. And I don't know if any of the players in this team are close to their best. I think we've seen better days for Remco, Metza and Magnus. So I just don't know about this. Other teams that are doing well are teams that are picking up a wonder kid. Like you look at Dignitas, they were kind of falling to pieces, and then boom, you throw Azrael in there, they're popping off again. You see all these crazy transfers, like turning teams around, like whether it's like a fresh player out of the bubble scene or out of RLCS. You know, they don't have that. TSM is the boomer squad. Yeah, they actually are, but yeah, maybe not the kind of boomer that you want. I mean, they will actually be booming the ball, to be fair. The TSM playstyle is extremely boomer focused. They're going to be blasting the ball. It's going to be just boomers everywhere. But yeah, I say it's with a heavy heart that I rank them down here, because I am happy to see Metza and Magnus reunited. I think it was a travesty when they were separated. One of the worst roster changes in the history of Rocket League when they were separated initially. It's just a shame that ever happened in the first place, because I think it would have been better for them if they'd stayed together the entire time and not had this time apart. Maybe both declined relative to their peers, and now they're back together again on a team that seems to be struggling every season in one way, shape or form. But yeah, I've got TSM and D just for those reasons. Let's have another one. Who do you guys want next? Somebody said he keeps ignoring Mouse, so I guess we could do Mouse. Who have yet to announce their third, but yeah. This is what it says on Wikipedia. It says Speed Cuxer Lethammer as the coach, but I don't know anything behind the scenes here. I don't. I didn't know about any of the transfers off season for any of the teams, including Mouse. But it's all over Reddit, and there's clips of Speed, and there's clips of Scrub talking, and they're hinting. They're not even hinting. They're blatantly stating now that Scrub is on the roster to replace a lot, who was on the roster last season. And yeah, maybe they're debating us. Maybe it's going to be a huge bait. And he's actually not on the roster. But I'm going to believe that he is. So for this ranking, I'm assuming that the roster for Mouse is Speed Cuxer and Scrubkiller. Scrubkiller no longer on Vitality. But yeah, where do you guys have Mouse? Where do you have them with the new Scrubkiller version? I bet this is going to be quite a varied one. There could be huge swings here. Wow, S+ straight off the bat. Lots of S+ actually. People who say S+ are lying to themselves. It's all S's and S+. Wow. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect that, but okay. Yeah, as soon as I said a lot of S and S+, the A's start coming in. But I do actually have Mouse in A for now. The fact that they have...
Finally caught your stream. Lost my 23-month streak, S.
Yeah, the fact that they have Scrub on the roster means that you can't put them below A, in my opinion. But we just have to wait and see how these guys blend together. I'm really torn actually, because this was like a close one. I almost had this. Maybe I should just have this. Screw it. Should I? But yeah, they're super close. I think since the reason I didn't want to put them in alongside Dignitas and Reciprocity, it's just because Dig and Reciprocity have proven themselves, and this roster hasn't. Yes, it has a lot of potential. Last time we had a roster change, or every time that we have a new roster with Cuxer's team, they seem to do quite well. But yeah, I want to see proof first. I want to see proof, and I can't put them next to Reciprocity and Dignitas who are proven when these guys are not. But I still rate that roster: Scrub, Cux, and Speed. I think that's a definite top 6. I also, I expect them to be a LAN contender for sure. I think that they've got a great chance of making it. Put them half and half. Nah, I'm not gonna go halfers. We're putting them in A. I'm putting them in A. It's really tough though. Yeah, they're a tough one to guess. Definitely a tough one to guess. I just rate both these roster changes. I like both the roster changes that Barcelona and Mouse have made. I think they're both good for the teams. I like the well-rounded look of Barcelona's roster, and obviously Scrubkiller is a 2-time RLCS grand finalist, so any team adding him has got to be a good thing. Alexander Tia, thanks for the 18-month tier 1, welcome back, and Ivan97, thanks for the 23-month prime, welcome back to you, appreciate you. Right, who do you guys want next? Drop it FCB to B. I like FCB and A. I think they're better than the team, or they're better than my B teams. Vitality. I couldn't see Vitality for a second there. They kind of blended in. This is the only transparent logo I could find for Vitality. It's very fancy. It's extremely shiny. But yeah, where do you guys have Vitality, who have got a new signing of Alpha 54? They've gone full baguette this season. 30 Pete K-Dop and Alpha 54. Yeah, this one's a no-brainer. You go from winning RLCS Season 7 to Grand Finals Season 8. And as we know, every time that K-Dop doesn't win an RLCS, he changes his team in some way. And this year, he's done it again. He's benched, or he's kicked Scrubkiller. I don't know if it was actually K-Dop, but yeah, that doesn't fit the narrative if it isn't. So yes, it was K-Dop.
Love you, ooh you.
And he's changed his team again, and now Scrub is off the team, and they've got Alpha 54 instead. So yeah, obviously I said if TSM still had Alpha, I'd probably put them at B, but they don't. And now I've got Alpha into Vitality, who would have been an S+ with Scrub. They're still an S+ with Alpha. I think they're going to be great. They can speak French and comms now. It's going to be insane. They're going to be saying all kinds of words I don't know. JRL, thanks for the 4-month tier 1. Appreciate you, man. They're going to be ready for the Olympics as well. Yeah, I believe that's the only full single nationality team in the entirety of RCS. There's a couple of doublers, got a reciprocity of a couple of French players, and Speed and Scrub are both UK if they do get picked up. I think there's one more as well. TSM, they've got a couple of Finns, but yeah, S plus, no question. I think Vitality they're going to be brilliant. Okay, let's do another one. A lot of people are asking for Endpoint. So Endpoint are the organization who they picked up Discombobulators. Now, Discombobulators were the team who won RLCS or RLRS last season. They won the thing. So Season 8 RLRS in Europe, Discombobulators won it. Where are they on this? They are here. And now they're straight into RLCS and picked up by Endpoint, Relating Wave, Virtuoso, and Nachitao. They are all RLCS rookies, all three of them. All RLCS rookies. I'm not going to say anything else. Just let you guys rank them. Let's see what you think. Let's see what you think. B, C, B, A's even. a lot of people saying B actually. I wanted to put them in B as well. I think that this is a team with a lot of potential. They're all rookies, but hey, recently that hasn't seemed like such a problem in RLCS. A lot of new teams, especially in America, have been popping off and just wiping the floor with veterans. So I'm not gonna give that a big negative. I'm not looking at multi or mass rookie rosters as a big negative anymore, or right now in Rocket League, because it doesn't seem to be that big of an issue for these guys. I think part of that is because RLCS is still online, so these teams are very comfortable playing from their own homes. But yeah, they're putting up good numbers, and they have very good stats from last season's RLRS. And looking at the RLRS stats is relevant in my opinion, because players who have done well in RLRS statistically in the past, you can look at players like Justin, players like iignite. They dominated RLCS stats in the past, and then all of a sudden next season they're dominating RLCS teams. So I think that you can look at RLRS stats and see who you expect to do well next season, but they're a very well balanced team. I think this is I think this is a very promising team. I think they're the most likely probably to make top 6, just because rookies seem to be doing well recently. I'm not saying that that's a plus for them. I'm just saying it isn't a minus for them. It isn't a minus. You'd usually think, oh, full rookie roster, they're going to struggle, they're going to choke. I don't think so. Like, not recently in Rocket League at least. Not recently in RLCS. They've been doing great. So I think they're going to be just fine, rookie or no. I think their gameplay is going to speak for themselves. Right. A lot of people want Monaco, so let's do Monaco. These guys are not all rookies. Extra is a rookie for RLCS, but Tigray and iignite have both played RLCS before. They've both done relatively well in RLCS before. So yeah, they definitely have some experience to draw upon. And yes, someone just said in chat right now, Extra is insane. Extra is a beast. He's mechanically insane. So they definitely have a lot of potential as well. They qualified to RLCS this season by finishing second in RLRS League play last season. They qualified directly. So that's same as Endpoint. They just made it straight in. C or D, C, B, A. Did I just say C, B, A? They finished first? I don't think they did. I'm pretty sure they finished second. I'm pretty sure Discombobulators finished first and AS Monaco were second. Oh wait, was there like a playoffs? There was playoffs, wasn't there? It wasn't just league play. Yeah, there was playoffs. So they actually won the playoffs, didn't they? Yeah. I was thinking league play, but they won playoffs, right? Yeah, that's right. So in league play, Discombobulators, aka Endpoint, came first, and Monaco came second. But in the playoffs, Monaco came first, and Discombobulators came second. I believe that's correct. Yeah. But hey, you guys had them anywhere from A to D, and I've got them in B, just because I think this is a roster that it just makes sense. Like, you see it and you're like, yeah, that's good. That should do well. Like, Tigre is a very solid player. I think Ignite was, yeah. I think it didn't even Remco say it when AS Monaco got promoted back into RLCS. Didn't Remco tweet something like, I guess, I don't know if he meant it or if he was just, you know, throwing some props at Ignite, but didn't he say something? He tweeted something like, "Oh, I guess this shows it shouldn't have been you that was benched," or something. It was a touching tweet. Yeah, it seemed like he was giving Ignite props for getting back into RLCS, but he was also kind of taking a dig at himself, because maybe he felt like he should have benched himself, because of course Remco benched Ignite when they picked up Alpha 54. Then Ignite, it was in TSM went to relegation. Yeah, they went to relegation, then they benched Ignite, picked up Alpha 54, and then TSM went back to relegation with Alpha 54. Meanwhile, Monaco went back up, so, or Ignite with Monaco went straight back into RLCS. So yeah, I think it was Remco. Yeah, he said it, that Ignite should never have been benched in the first place, and I agree. I think he's RLCS caliber, and Extra is ridiculous. He's got ridiculous level of play. So I think that they're both really promising, Endpoint and Monaco. I really rate both those teams. Looking forward to seeing them play. Starkiller, thanks for the Prime sub. Welcome to the stream. Last one is Team Singularity. This should be very interesting to see in RLCS, because we've got Tho in RLCS. Tho and Scrubkiller, as many of you know, are bitter rivals. They've got a lot of history, mostly from ranked. But yeah, where do you guys expect Team Singularity to end up? This is Team Singularity. They needed to make it through in the very last spot. They didn't make it through playoffs from RLRS, so that meant they went to the promotion tournament, where, oh, what happened at the promotion tournament? I think they lost to, didn't they lose to TSM initially? And then they beat Complexity or something? No, they beat Complexity, lost to TSM, then they beat Complexity again to make it in. That's how Singularity made it in. So they beat Flake, Screezy, and Magnus twice to make it into RLCS. Definitely they earned it. But they narrowly lost to the TSM, the Alpha 54 version of TSM, in the winners finals of promotion playoffs. If they'd won that, they would have got in without having to play loser finals, of course. Why do I have FCB so high? Because I think they didn't have a terrible season last season. They were almost. I mean, Dignitas, who I have an S, had to reverse sweep FCB to make LAN. So FCB, they were pretty close to beating Dignitas, who went on to do incredibly well. But yeah, back to Team Singularity. I think that they're definitely a level below Endpoint and Monaco coming out of RLRS. I said that I would have an Alpha 54 version of TSM in B. And that would be, of course, in my opinion, a team that's better than Team Singularity because they beat them. But I think that the TSM currently are going to be my only team in D tier. And I'm going to put Team Singularity in C, right next to Veloce. Because I think if I had to pick one team to get relegated, if I one team who I think might just get relegated directly, because the 10th place team in RLCS this season get relegated directly to RLRS, no playoffs, no promotions, then yeah, I think I would have to pick TSM, because I think the other teams just want it more. They're just gonna have more drive. All these like fresh players coming out of RLRS, they're just gonna have more drive. They're gonna be like so ready to play like all day every day. And grind, whereas I don't know if the older guys have that same grind in them anymore. putting them all in the same team. I just don't know if it's going to work out. Why do I hate the Finns? I love the Finns. I even said earlier, I'm looking forward to, and I'm delighted that Mets and Arsa Magnus are back together again. I just think it might be a few seasons too late. That's all I'm saying. I think it might be a few seasons too late. Now, if you
Johnny,
took...
what do you think about Vitality's decision to drop Scrub Killer?
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, I was going to say, if you took Mets and Magnus and put them with like a insanely mechanical like star player, which is what a lot of teams are doing these days, is grabbing an Astral or just snapping up like another mechanical beast for your team. I think they're gonna have a lot more success. But with Mets and Magnus Remco, I just don't know who's gonna like pop off on this team. Who's it gonna be? Because the meta has kind of evolved. It has kind of evolved. Back in the day, you could just have everybody playing solid. Back in the OG Dignitas days, I mean, that's what they did. They just all played solid and they would win. But then, like, teams started having to pop off to win. Like, they basically all take turns, like, hard carrying a game. Alpha 54 comes to mind. Astral, of course, comes to mind. Chaussette. I'm expecting to see, similar kind of thing, but in a different way from Flakes and Barcelona. Scrub and Mouse, maybe. Like, I can see Extra and Monaco. I could see a lot of players in a lot of these teams who are just nuts. And then in TSM, I just don't.
Just wondering.
I really hope I'm wrong, though.
Killer?
I really hope I'm wrong. I really want Mets and Magnus to be a power duo again. A power couple. I want that so badly, because it was so wrong that it was taken away from us all those seasons ago. So wrong. But yeah, which team? I usually ask these questions. Which team do you guys think I ranked too highly? Which team is ranked too high? Yes. A lot of FCB. Yeah, you guys just not rating FCB, I guess. You guys not rating FCB. When FCB last season picked up Ronicky, I was thinking, I don't know how that's going to work with Ronicky and Bluey on the same team. Like, personality-wise, I was not convinced that would work.
Fav food.
But I think now obviously that's no longer a question, because Bluey's off the roster. And although I still rate Bluey, and I think he had a good season last season, I would guess, and this is a guess, I would guess that change was probably more to do with outside of the game than inside the game, because like I said, I think Bluey played quite well. And yeah, Flake seems to be, I think, a good fit for that team. Just a lot of speculation there, I admit. But that's what this is all about, so that's my justification of that one. Who do you think I criminally underrated? Which team should have been ranked higher in your guys' opinion? Tremas, thanks for the 420. Fave food. Spanish tapas, probably. Fenrero, 5 thanks to the 6-month tier 1. Who picked up Scrub Killer? Well, it's not been announced yet, but everybody's expecting Scrub to go to Mouse. Veloce, Mouse. Veloce. Yeah, I think Veloce is a very fair choice for criminally underrated here. Because I think that the way that Veloce play has made me rank them lower. It might have done. It really might have done. Like, I don't like the way they play Rocket League, so I might have rated them lower based on that. Maybe. Probably. I'm more excited by the teams above them. But yeah, I think Veloce last season got a lot of points and they got a lot of wins because teams underrated them, and that's not going to happen this season. And where teams like Barcelona and Mouse improve their rosters, and there's all these fresh teams bursting out of RLRS ready to wreck, Veloce kept the same team, and I don't think that they were that inspiring last season. They got the job done, but they were very uninspiring about it overall. even though there's individually a lot of talent on that team. For some reason, they're just not willing to use it. They're not willing to take risks, Veloce. Where are the risks? It won't be rewarded without risks. I think they're probably going to finish bottom 3. I mean, there's my league table. I mean, if I was to guess a league table here, I would probably put it something like this. Like this, maybe. Yeah, probably like this. This could be my league table, right? So, Vitality, Rec, Dig, Mouse, FCB, Monaco, Endpoint, Veloce, Singularity, TSM. That I wouldn't be surprised if this was the final standings. That's why I had them in this kind of order, tier-wise. Fenrir 05, cheers for 6-month tier 1. Crow 2016, thanks to the 3-month tier 1. What do I think about Vitality's decision to drop Scrub Killer? It's a very interesting one. Excited to see them play with all French comms. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, obviously Scrub was a big part of that team, but they've replaced him with Alpha 54, so I don't think you can go wrong there. It's hard to get that one wrong. Alpha's insane. So I definitely think that the change, on paper, it makes sense, just because, yeah, you've benched one of the best players in the world, but you've also picked up one of the best players in the world, so you're probably okay. I think that Vitality are going to be fine. It's like a C tier list. What do I think about the auto promotion and relegation at the end of the season? I like it. I like that there's now more like variety in what can happen to you. So first, I think top 2 still qualify for LAN, if I'm not mistaken. Season 9 RLCS league play. The format says top 2 auto qualify for RLCS finals. Top 6 qualify for regional championship, where I believe the regional championship will be the same format as it was last season, where 5th and 6th play against each other, 3rd and 4th play against each other, and the loser of 3rd, 4th plays the winner of 5th, 6th for the last LAN spot. So as you go down the list, like top 2 auto qualify, the next 2 only have to win once to make it into LAN, the next 2 after that have to win twice to make it into LAN in playoffs. The next, I think it's the next 1 team after that, just 7th place alone, will stay in RLCS without having to requalify. Then the teams that finish 8th and 9th will have to qualify for RLCS again through promotion relegation playoffs. Then the team that finishes 10th just gets auto relegated. So lots of different things happening there, and I think that's a lot more interesting and a lot more fair than the 8-team format, where it was just a massive difference. You finish 7th, relegations. You finish 6th, you might be going to LAN. Like that was just no buffer zone. It was just all or nothing. Yeah, I like the new format better. My thoughts on the prominent players dropping out of RLCS completely, like a lot and Greasy. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do. I mean, Greasy and a lot of both ended up on teams that aren't even in the rival series. They're trying to qualify for rival series, so they've got a long way to go if they're going to get back. But yeah, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that this will keep happening, because there's always going to be newer, younger players picking up the game and just grinding harder than people who have been going since the very beginning. If you just come here and you're looking at what you see on screen right now, this actually isn't the final standings of my tier list as it ended. It's not too different. I actually had this was the tier list like this.
I'm here to ruin the video with a text-to-speech message.
Maybe this won't even be in the video.
Just kidding, I bet you expected a really stupid and long message that would never end, and the video editor would have to cut this segment out of the video. Anyway, how are the wife and kitten?
The wife and kitten? I don't have either, so I don't know. Wait. Kids is censored. No, I don't have wife and kids. Why is it Reciprocity didn't exchange Shawset with Jesse? They might yet. You never know. They might yet do it.